needs
Yep.
from a device standpoint and decide what's right for you.
Yep.
And we'd be happy, you know, and kind of make the offer. I can throw that offer out there. I'm always, you know, as an individual or as Vocera, we are always available to help them with that decision.
Yep. Okay.
Right?
Yep. So I almost feel like you have almost the whole blog here. So you're nodding to the class report. And what do you see value in their CYOD discussion?
They don't. You know, I'll go back and look. I'll go back and look through it. They didn't talk a lot about CYOD. They talked about it really as another model, but part of it is, I think what you need to, if I were going to talk about CYOD, I would say look at their recommendations for BYOD, and I think the recommendations for BYOD apply equally to CYOD.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think some of them may not be as applicable because they talk about things like external. Well, no, they do apply. I think if anything, though, what I would say is the classes recommended best practices for BYOD also apply to CYOD, but because you're dealing with a smaller number of devices, a smaller variety of devices, it's actually easier to implement.
Okay.
Right. I think the delta is the challenge on whether to do BYOD or CYOD, I think really comes down to budget, frankly, Ann.
Okay.
Does the customer have the budget to buy cell phones for all their doctors?
Okay.
Or whatever, I wouldn't say doctors, but do they have the budget to pay for smartphones for all the employees that they want to enable to have a personal smartphone in use, right?
Yep. And the class report really takes a device-centric way of looking at this, whereas you are advocating looking at it from a different orientation, which is beginning, you know, with the users and the kind of services they need.
Right. Well, I'm looking at it in a different layer, and I think is the way it is. The top layer is what device should I have for my user, and then where the class report comes in is, okay, I've decided this user needs a smartphone. Is it BYOD? Is it CYOD? Is it shared use? And if it's shared use, what vendor do I go with? So it's kind of like, if you look at a decision, it's almost like a decision tree.
Okay,
right? And maybe that would be an interesting, you know, maybe a decision tree might be an interesting graphic to throw up front in the blog, right? Which is decision 1, badge or smartphone. Decision 2, BYOD, CYOD shared use. Decision 3 within shared use, Apple, Zebra, other, right? Or Apple, Zebra, SpectraLink, other. And now let's talk, and maybe that sort of starts to create the outline for the entire blog and structure for it, right? As we start to address those questions in order.
Okay. Yeah. And would you be prescriptive, like, you know, if you've identified the services your people need, are you personally, going to be prescriptive about, well, if they need this, I recommend this, or is it going to be really something for them to decide once you're just giving them a way to look at it?
No, I think we can be somewhat prescriptive with respect to the badge versus smartphone decision in particular, right?
Yep.
I think we need to be, right? Because we need to say, look, if you need more than what the badge can do and hands-free is not a priority, then you should be looking at a smartphone.
Okay.
But again, there's another piece in there, which is the dual mode piece, which says, and I don't want to put that in the decision tree, right? I want to keep the decision tree in that graphic simple, but I want to say, look, if you're not sure, try it in dual mode first.
Okay.
For a portion of your users.
Yeah. I think you've got I think we can pull a blog out of what you just did.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you really hit all the points. And so I'll just get the transcript and put it together, you know, loosely. I know you like to have a hand in it.
Yeah.
So do you want me to take that approach? Is that good for you?
Yeah, take a shot at it. What kind of time frame are you looking at? Because obviously this is not the only thing on your plate.
Oh no, it's not. And I'm going to be traveling next week, so it might be something I can do like on the plane. So I'm going